Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu mavit vishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 11 to 15 of chapter 3. Devan bhavayatanena,
Devan bhavayatanena,
te deva bhavayantu vaha,
te deva bhavayantu vaha,
parasparam bhavayantaha,
parasparam bhavayantaha,
Shreyah paramavapsyatha,
Shreyah paramavapsyatha,
Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha,
Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha,
Dasyante yajna bhavitaha,
Dasyante yajna bhavitaha,
Taidattana pradayabhyaha,
Taidattana pradayabhyaha,
Yo bhungte stena eva saha,
Yo bhungte stena eva saha,
Yajna shishtashinah santaha,
Yajna shishtashinah santaha,
Muchyante sarva kilbishaihi,
Muchyante sarva kilbishaihi,
Bhunjate te tvagam papaha,
Bhunjate te tvagam papaha,
Ye pachantyatmakaranat,
Ye pachantyatmakaranat,
Annad bhavanti bhutani,
Annad bhavanti bhutani,
Parjanyadanna sambhavaha,
पर्जन्यादन्नसम्भवः
यज्ञात् भवति पर्जन्यः
यज्ञात् भवति पर्जन्यः
यज्ञः कर्मसमुद्भवः
यज्ञः कर्मसमुद्भवः
कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवं विद्धि
कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवं विद्धि
ब्रह्माक्षरसमुद्भवम्
ब्रह्माक्षरसमुद्भवम्
तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्म
तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्म
नित्यं यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम्
नित्यं यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम्
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So in the last 6 days, there was a tremendous flow of energy talking about the Yoga Sankirtan empowerment program, especially the last day, Sri Hanuman Dhyana empowerment was given to you all for the first time. Now, what is interesting is, you will be experiencing this today. It is after an empowerment, when you come for these Sunday sessions, when you continue with these Sunday sessions, you will find that your intensity of absorption would have increased tremendously. Not only absorption of this wisdom, but also the meditation experience will be very deep. That is more deep than what you were experiencing before. And it's not only during the Sunday sessions, even when you do your personal sadhana, you will find a lot of difference. Actually, some sadhaks have asked as to the logic behind it. It's very simple. In an empowerment program, the transference of energy takes place. So when the higher Shakti is transferred, when the empowerment happens, the level of the receiver, that is in this context, it is you, the sadhak. The level of the sadhak is pushed up. That is the help given by the master. So this genuinely helps in expediting the spiritual growth. So if you want the full benefit of the empowerment, you should continue with your sadhana in a consistent way, both attending the Sunday sessions and your personal sadhana throughout the week. So when the level is pushed up, now and then immediately after that you continue with your sadhana, now your experience will be more intense and you will clinch it, you will get established in that level. That is very important. Otherwise, what will happen is, the empowerment has been given, your level has been pushed up, but if you don't put in your efforts, you will not get established in that. Slowly it will start coming down. You should remember this always. Whenever the master gives something and you receive it, you should not stop with that. It is not enough if you just receive the higher grace. It is only when you do your consistent sadhana that you will get established in whatever you are receiving. It is something like this. Let's say a very rich businessman. Now he gives his son an X amount of wealth. The son inherits the wealth. Now that is not enough. After inheriting the wealth, the son should know how to retain it and how to grow it further. Only then he can get established in that. I've seen in many families when children inherit from their parents or grandparents, for a while they enjoy that, but after that they come back to square one. Whatever they inherit goes away from them. Why? Because they stop putting in their effort. So one is to receive this wisdom, the other is to put in your effort and get established in that. So when it comes to an empowerment program, it's not merely transference of wisdom alone. It is transference of energy. Energy comes from a lot of tapas. So the great masters do a lot of tapas and then they empower their students by lending their energy a little bit to those students who are truly committed and who surrender fully. So that gives a very big push to the student. But it is exactly like a father giving a lot of wealth to his son or daughter. What does the son or daughter do with that wealth thereafter? Haven't we seen in many families? That is, I've seen both sides. That is, sometimes the son, I know one family where the son has grown the father's wealth further. The father gave him X, he made it 5x. And I've also seen some children, they squandering away the wealth after receiving that. So why I'm mentioning this to you is, whether it is these Sunday sessions or whether it is the empowerment session, remember one thing. So much of grace is given, so much of divine energy is invoked. But as far as your life is concerned, you have the ultimate control. That is, if you stop putting in effort, you will squander away all the wealth. If you continue to put in effort, you will get established in that level and you will be ready to move to the next level. That control or that, what can we say, the choice is something which is in your hands. So don't be satisfied with merely receiving. Even every Sunday, you are receiving the wisdom. And some healing is also given, you are receiving all that. There are many people who just relax after that. They feel, yeah, I have received a lot, I'm so happy. It's good to be happy. Obviously, that's the whole idea. But this happiness is a Tamasic happiness. It's not true happiness. If you are happy and content with merely receiving from the Master, then the tamas has set in. Whereas if you use whatever you have received to put in more effort, if you get more, if you get more inspired when you receive, rather than just merely stopping with that, if you get inspired by that and if you put in more effort, it means you're growing, you're using that for your evolution. That part alone, no master can help with respect to that part. Everything else can be done, but that bit alone, the student has to do it by himself or herself. So remember this, there are two aspects when you approach the master and when you are progressing in the spiritual path. There are these two aspects. One is receiving the higher energy, receiving the higher wisdom, receiving the higher healing. These are basically what the master keeps giving, if you think about it. One is the master keeps giving the higher healing, so that heals you of many blocks. It makes things conducive for you to do your sadhana. And then the master also gives the higher wisdom. So that again helps you to put in more effort, do your personal sadhana and grow. It gives you a lot of clarity. And then he gives you the higher Shakti, that is empowerment. Now, when a student receives all that, that is the first step. But the second step is very important, especially after you have completed the first step. See, if you don't receive anything, then we can say you have not lost anything. From the ultimate sense, you have lost the opportunity, but at least practically you are where you are. But when you put in that effort and when you come to the first step, you are actually moving up a bit. And then if you don't clinch it by your efforts, what will happen is again you will go back slowly. It's a gradual process. That is why even when the 22-day empowerments are there is a longer empowerments. Always the empowerment sadhana meditation materials are provided to the sadhaks when they procure them and when they do that periodically. I think the sequencing and all that is usually given during the empowerment program. So when they combine that with the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana, then they are able to clinch it. They are able to safeguard whatever energy they have received, the higher Shakti, and also they are able to use it to move further up. So you practice contentment and spirituality, or happiness and all that with respect to all other things. But when it comes to spiritual growth, it is better not to be content. This may be a contradiction, but I'm sure you understand it in the context. Whenever tamas sets in, that will make you kind of content and prevent you from putting in effort. Take this as a thumb rule. If any kind or any force, whether it is contentment or happiness or anything, if something stops you from putting in further effort to grow, then that is tamasic. The most interesting part is the tamasic people will come up with various logic. Ultimately, what is a master giving, asking us to do just to be happy only, no? So I am in that state and all that. No way. What comes out of that is very important, no? The great yogis, they were not talking about tamasic contentment. So whenever your contentment and happiness stops your growth, prevents you from putting in further effort, understand that tamas has set in. This is so important. I am very glad that a few sadhaks have raised this query. This principle is not applicable only with empowerment. It is applicable with respect to the Sunday sessions also, and any kind of advice or personal guidance also which you take from the master. So the first step is receiving, and then the second step is getting established with respect to whatever it is that you received. So if it is true with respect to material wealth, how much more important it is with respect to spiritual wealth. See, whether it is healing or whether it is this wisdom or whether it is the empowerment energy, there is transference of energy, whatever it is that the master is giving, we can summarize all that in these two words: spiritual wealth. So spiritual wealth is more valuable than material wealth. Material wealth has a certain amount of value, but that value is finite only. With material wealth you can buy certain things, but there are so many things which you cannot buy with material wealth. For example, you cannot buy love. The love which comes because of material wealth is not true love. You cannot buy knowledge. You can buy books, but you cannot buy knowledge. You cannot buy clarity. We can go on making a list. So material wealth has its benefits, but limited, finite benefits, whereas spiritual wealth has infinite benefits. With spiritual wealth, you open up your personality, you awaken your inner powers, infinite powers from within, using which you can achieve anything in the world and with respect to your inner growth also. You get the capacity to acquire material wealth also. So, with respect to material wealth itself, when this law is functioning, what about the spiritual wealth? So, with all the good intentions, you may go to a master, you may receive so much, but then how much are you retaining? That retaining aspect is the key, and the retaining can be effectively done only when the student puts in that consistent effort in terms of personal sadhana and gets established with respect to whatever it is that he or she is receiving. So you can take this as a thumb rule. This is the answer to all those sadhaks who asked that question, and also to others also. Whether you have raised the question actually or not is not important. The point which is being given is so important for your sadhana. So you can take this as a thumb rule. Whenever something inspires you to put an effort and move further, to grow further, that is satvic. Whenever something makes you very content in quotes, but stops you from putting in effort, that is tamasic. both will look externally alike, because a satvic person also will be very content, happy, but he will have one more factor, which is that inspiration to put in more effort. A tamasic person is also content and happy, but he doesn't have that inspiration to put in more effort. That is a major difference. I am explaining to you in terms of tamas, rajas, sattva, because that is what we are doing in these verses right now. No? We are seeing the application of tamas, rajas and sattva with respect to yajna, especially the main principle of parasparam, the give and take. So is this very clear? So don't think miracles will happen just because you receive. That is also true. See, whenever you receive something from the higher, naturally some miracles may happen, some good results may come in your life, but you need to sustain that, no? That is the key. If you want to sustain that, this is the way. First step is receiving. Second step is retaining and getting established. This is like a two-step formula, to put it in a corporate jargon. Because nowadays when you put it that way, then people say, oh, two-step formula. Very simple if you think about it. When it is packaged that way, it looks as if it's something great. It is great right from beginning. Some of the greatest thoughts which have been given in our ancient wisdom has been put in a very simple way. So simple that people will miss it. That's what is happening actually. So is this clear? As sadhaks, make a note of this point, because this will enhance your benefits to tremendous proportions. Not only that, when you put in this kind of effort, that is when you practice this two-step formula, what will happen is you will get ready for further and further higher empowerments, higher healing, higher wisdom. Now that is very important for you to become more and more prepared. See, when a student is prepared fully, the master will be able to give fully. The master always wants to give. Now how much can the student receive? That has to be seen, no? So let us put it this way. To the extent the student is ready, to that extent, that is when I say ready in terms of intention and ready in terms of sadhana. Having done the sadhana, having qualified himself or herself. So to the extent a student is ready, to that extent a master will be able to give. Let us not put it as to that extent master will give. Even if he wants to give more, it will not be possible, because the student will not receive it. Then it is as good as not having given. So when you keep on preparing yourself thus, that is, as you are doing your personal sadhana, not only will you experience the benefits with respect to your present level, but it will keep preparing you for further growth. That is the amazing thing. And as you are prepared for the next level, automatically it will attract the Guru Shakti. Now some other sadhaks have mentioned that when they attended this empowerment, that is which we had for the last 6 days, about becoming divine, they said every day when we attended that, especially one lady has mentioned this. She says, this is exactly what I wanted to ask you, Yogishri. I wanted to receive this. I didn't know how to put it in words, and that I'm getting. This is the experience of all the sadhaks, no? Why? Because once you are ready, you don't need to even verbally ask, because that message reaches the infinite, and the infinite will send the Guru Shakti or will direct the Guru Shakti to give you more. Without be preparing yourself, without doing your sadhana properly, simply to keep asking for the higher grace actually makes no sense. Yes, you should ask, you should seek, but when is it that you can receive more? When is it that you can grow? It is only when you prepare yourself. So that part of it, which is the main part to complete the picture. See, you've covered, let us say, the distance 99%. Now, one more percent is there. Unless you complete it, you will not complete that race, no? Supposing you stop there, then it is an incomplete thing. That completion comes when you practice this, when you get established in the higher wisdom. Supposing you don't do that, because I can immediately see in some people's minds, oh sir, I attended last empowerment I attended, after that I didn't put in enough effort, so what do I do? Nothing will happen. Even if your level comes down, it will get settled at whatever level you are established in. So the next empowerment you attend, another opportunity will be given and you will be pushed up. At that time, you should clinch it. See, no point in just simply worrying about the past. We learn from the past mistakes and put in the right kind of effort to move further. Okay. So last week we had started the verse 13. That is, we were seeing this the second line. We are going to do the second line first, and then we'll come to the first line. I explained to you the tamas, rajas is the second line here, and then the satvic approach is the first line. So when I was talking about the psychology of the Bhagavad Gita, again one sadhak has sent a mail saying that that was so fascinating, and can you give more psychological tips like that? It's so useful. Yes, as we go along, wherever we get those psychological tips, I'll cover that. Actually, a lot of psychological tips are covered in chapter 3. Because it's very interesting. Arjuna is supposed to act, and he has gotten into a state of tamas temporarily, inaction. Now Krishna wants Arjuna to act. Wants means see, that is the blessing, no? If he acts, now he is going to benefit. So when Arjuna went and asked Krishna for help, now Krishna knows that he has to inspire Arjuna to act, but he doesn't want to act. So then what to do in such a situation? For the benefit of Arjuna, with infinite love, affection and compassion, he uses various psychological methods to positively influence Arjuna's mind and inspires Arjuna to get into action. If you don't understand the context, it may look like manipulation. There is a big difference between manipulation and what Krishna is doing. Krishna is doing it for Arjuna's benefit. When you manipulate someone, that is done for your benefit, selfishness, for selfish reasons. Whereas here, Krishna is acting in a selfless way. He sees the most effective way of communicating so that the chances of Arjuna getting the full benefits increases. The chances increase. So here we saw one. Similarly, in the coming verses also, wherever the such psychological tips are there, we will also see that. Those are all very practical tips which you can directly use in your life, and you'll find that they give you immediate results. Whether it's in terms of relationships or work or whatever it may be. So what did we see last week? Bhunjate te tu agham papaha ye pachanti atmakaranat. So those impure ones, we were seeing about that, no? Agham. We will see some more dimensions today, because when you go into the depth and understand that, and then when we come to the satvic people, he uses the word santaha, which also becomes very important for you as a sadhak. So those impure ones who cook for the sake of themselves, they eat sin. Papaha, papaha. So bhunjate means eating or enjoying. So they are cooking food, but what are they eating? What are they really enjoying? Not the food, he says. Sin, papaha, agitations, stress. So why is that? Because of, that's where we get this clue. He calls them as agham because of the basic impurity. So agham means impure. A person who is impure is called agham. So last week one dimension was given to you. Agham also means accident. So accident implies imperfection, error, which means for a rajasic person, his intentions are good only. He starts off in the right way, but along the way he pollutes his efforts with some wrong attitude. So that's where the difference between the tamasic person and rajasic person comes. Like supposing, let's say you want to drink some nice fruit juice. A tamasic person is one who does not consume the fruit juice at all. He just consumes dirty water. It's like that. This is just an arbitrary example. Whereas a rajasic person, he consumes the fruit juice only, but a little bit of dirty water is mixed with that. So it is better off than tamas, but it is not the best. See, as a human being, you should always strive to live up to your potential. You should not be happy in a tamasic way just because you've got some benefits. Even with respect to the sadhana, I'm telling you. Oh, sir, I did Yoga Sankirtan sadhana. I attended the Yoga Sankirtan empowerment. I got promotion in my job. Very good. I'm so happy for you. But that should be a start, not an end, as far as your growth is concerned. Sir, I did the empowerment. I had some financial difficulties. Now, all that has got resolved. Great, wonderful. What next? You should be happy that at least I'm saying great, wonderful, because my gurus never used to say all that. Anything you achieve, they will not give any value at all. They'll say, okay, do sadhana, move up further. If you don't understand their intentions, you will leave them and come. That's why these Himalayan yogis, they are very difficult people. Difficult in the sense, their standards are so high that mostly people will misunderstand them only. Their intentions are so pure, they are not bothered whether people misunderstand them or not. They just do whatever they ought to do. They just do the right things. That may be pleasant sometimes, that may not be pleasant. Take it or leave it. A master in martial arts, he had mastered a particular style in karate, So he was telling me that his master, we're talking of martial arts here, so was from Japan, and he went to Japan to learn from him at a very young age. So he was trained by him for many years. So what he shared was very interesting. When he was training from him, naturally he was so interested, he was a good student, and the master was also really good. So he acquired a lot of skills. With that, he went for the some world championship in that section. And amazingly, what happened is, the first time he participated, and he went up to the finals and he won the finals also. He was given a huge cup and a gold medal, and he felt so happy. And he thought, my God, the first thing I should do is I should take my cup to my guru, to my teacher, and show him. He'll feel so happy. So as soon as he received the cup and medal and whatever formalities were there, he finished all that and then rushed to his teacher. And he was so excited, and he went to his teacher and told him, Sir, see this, I have won the cup, I have been given a gold medal, I am the champion now, To which his teacher's response was, okay, keep the cup there, come for practice. With a straight, bland face, absolutely looks like as if there are no emotions, Keep it there, come for practice. So what this person was telling me is, sir, all the excitement which I had, everything vanished in that 1 second. See, he was a good student. That's why he understood the motives of the teacher. Many other student would have left. If the ego had taken over, oh, I'm a champion now and all that, he would have left. he said the teacher almost treated that, it's a big achievement, but he treated it as if it was like nothing. He didn't, he said, I was happy that he didn't say, put it in the bin and come. He said, at least place it there and come for practice, no? So why is that? Because which see, in any skill, any art, a true teacher will not be interested in all these laurels. That is not important. How much have you mastered the skill? That is his focus. So these are all worldly arts. When it comes to spirituality, so you may get a lot of benefits, but you should not rest content with that. When you have this rajasic attitude, when you do things in an imperfect way, you will get certain benefits, but that is not up to your potential. You have not lived up to the dignity and prestige of a human being because you have not tapped your full potential. So a master, when you go and tell the master, oh sir, this has happened, that has happened, excellent, but come for practice. That is his main, do the sadhana. Don't now get distracted, because his focus is going to be only on that, because he is not interested in all these laurels. He wants you to move from tamas to rajas, rajas to sattva, and then go beyond the three gunas. That state, when you that state is the state of the infinite. You become a gunatita. Guna atita means rising beyond the three gunas. So if you're looking for these small praises and all that, it means you've got stuck with rajas. Again, I'm drawing the parallel with tamas and telling you because we have seen that. So a tamasic person doesn't put in any effort, but he looks for praise. A rajasic person puts in the effort, but he looks for praise. A satvic person puts in tremendous effort, but he doesn't look for praise and all that. That is the level which you should try and achieve. So when you're putting in all the efforts, but you add some impurity, then that gets mixed. You don't get the real fruits of spiritual sadhana. You made a good start, but you have got stuck in between. So that is the meaning or the implication of this word accident. So another dimension of aagam. Aagam means misdeed. Deed means what? Your action. Misdeed means wrong action. That action which has missed its mark. That is aagam. You have no doubt put an effort, but those efforts have not hit the target properly, the target which you set initially. So when you set a target, and if you don't put in efforts at all, target here means a goal, when you fix a goal, and if you don't put in efforts at all, that is tamasic. If you put in efforts, but you are not achieving your goal, it is misdirected. That's what is meant by misdeed. Misdeed also has some other meanings, but in this context, we are taking this meaning of misdeed. Whenever your efforts miss the mark because of certain impurities, certain distractions, understand that that is the state of rajas, tamasic, Rajasic. Misdeed means those deeds or those actions that have missed the mark. The world may still consider you as a winner because others may be at a lower level, but you should not keep that as a yardstick. See, supposing in a classroom everybody has failed, let us say. Let's say what is the pass percentage? 40 marks out of 100. Now everyone has got less than 40. Now you get 40 and just pass. The other person has got 39. So now you become the topper. You're so happy with it. That should not be the case. Your success should not be defined by the other person's failure. Today that is what is happening. Your success or your achievements are being counted with reference to others' failures. So intrinsically what have you done? Have you achieved whatever you set out to achieve, or have you missed the mark? That is the question. You missed the mark by, let's say, X amount of distance. All others have missed the mark by X plus 10. Therefore, now you become an achiever. You are called a successful person. The great masters say that is of no use. Our life has nothing to do with others. In its, if you look at it in a deep way, your achievements have nothing to do with others. Independently, you should fix your goals and you should put in the right kind of efforts and you should achieve your goal. Sometimes when you do that, you may not get appreciation from others. It does not matter. Still, you are a winner. You are truly successful. A win or success defined by others' failures is a total waste. It will not allow you to proceed further. The tamas will start setting in. So your life should be driven by your goals. And the success in your life should be measured with respect to your efforts and your goal, not others' failures. Remember this. This is a very important point. So when he says misdeed, a Rajasic person may be very successful, but he has still missed the mark. So number one, accident, which means error, some impurity has set in, imperfection we can say. Number two, misdeed, that is miss the mark. That is a very important dimension. And then the third dimension of agam, basically I have already talked about impurity, but after that we are going in that order and seeing 1, 2, 3, so that it will become easy for you to understand. So the next dimension of agam is distress. Agam means being in a state of distress, sorrow. So Rajasic approach will give you some immediate success, immediate joys, but in the long run it will give you distress. In the 18th chapter, I told you, he classifies everything into sattva, rajas and tamas. So even happiness is classified into sattva, rajas and tamas. When it comes to rajasic happiness, he says that which gives you immediate pleasure but later on ends up in sorrow, that is rajasic happiness. Satvic happiness, he says, will give you immediate sorrow. Immediate sorrow means not real sorrow, immediate pain. See, when you try to build good habits, it's a little painful, you have to put in that effort, no? But in the long run, it will give you happiness. He says that happiness is satvic. Tamasic happiness, he says, is delusive of the self right from beginning till the end. that is no use. So that is the implication of this dimension, distress. So when your approach is rajasic in life, what happens is you get some immediate results. So you get excited. But before you know, that excitement will turn into distress or sorrow. Why? Because the impurities will start functioning. Supposing you drink the fruit juice but with a lot of other impure water, when you drink, you may not be able to see it in the taste. You may think, it's so wonderful. But once it goes inside, it will cause a lot of disturbance with respect to your digestive system, and so many, it can make you sick. So it may be very pleasurable or it wonderful to start with, but it ends up as poison. That which is like poison in the beginning and ends up like nectarine is satvic. That which is like nectar in the beginning and ends up as poison, that is rajas. See, the words which he uses, the choice of words, that really is amazing. When it came to tamas, he used the word stenaha. So apt, and it will hit a tamasic person. It will awaken a tamasic person. It will awaken the tamas aspect in you. That kind of a strong word. When it comes to rajas, he uses this word called aagam, which has so many dimensions and exactly fits in the context. And when it comes to sattva, he says santaha, beautiful word, that has such a deep meaning. When we come there, we'll see. So number one, accident, that is error, imperfection. Number two, misdeed, those actions which have missed the mark, which was originally set. And number three, distress. So even though the original mark has been missed, since the efforts were there, it will give some results. But soon all that will turn into distress, sorrow. That is why, if you observe, you find that many rajasic people, most people who are successful, I am using the word most because there will be people who are having the satvic approach also. But if you see the majority of the achievers, they are all achievers because they have put in the effort and others haven't put in even that much. But wherever the rajas is there, they end up with disappointment and sorrow. So if you go and interview great achievers, they talk so many things, but then are you really happy? They are unable to say yes. They say no. Very interesting. I happened to read an interview of a very top business person. He had achieved real success in terms of wealth, business, finance and all that. In the business circle, everybody looks up to him. And when he was asked, how do you feel? See, you are the number one in that field, how do you feel? He said, very lonely. Because having come to this level, there is no companionship. That's different. But the choice of words which he used, very lonely. Because that gives that insecurity. So when you achieve things in life in a rajasic way, it will no doubt give you immediate success, immediate happiness. I'm putting happiness in quotes. But it will end up in distress, sorrow, loneliness, insecurity. All these things will set in. So when that sorrow or distress comes, what will happen? That person will become very highly stressed. So two people will not be stressed. The satvic person will not be stressed. The tamasic person also will not be stressed. You may wonder then, is that better? No. Because he has pushed all the problems under the carpet. So it is a false sense of happiness which he is having, as long as he is tamasic. A rajasic person is one who is taking the dirt out and started the process of cleaning. So a rajasic person will be stressed. So wherever you are stressed, understand that it is because of rajas. I have seen some people who get into all kinds of problems in life, but they put on a cloak as a cloak of happiness, as if everything is normal. They try to normalize things by talking. It's an artificial cloak. That is also tamas only. See, I am giving you different aspects of how the tamas, rajas and sattva function with respect to give and take. That is the parasparam. So that you will keep on gaining more and more clarity. See, if you have an issue and if you are not stressed about it, if you are not agitated about it, it means you are tamasic. Either you have reached a very high level. Incidentally, tamasic people will claim that. They will think they are great yogis. See the kind of illusion which the mind creates, So when you have an issue, you should feel concerned about it. Yes, the stress factor will be there. What is wrong with that? So you approach a master, ask him for the solutions. A satvic person is not stressed because he has done a lot of tapas, sadhana and gone into that state of detachment, and he will be able to solve the issues. That capacity is there. A tamasic person has no capacity, nothing. Simply just living in a delusional world. So a rajasic person will go through the distress, and this distress will cause a lot of agitations, mental agitations, or what in the management jargon they call as stress. So when it comes to this principle of parasparam, give and take, the calculative nature of a rajasic person will ultimately cause stress to his own mind. And whenever you are stressed, two things happen. One is your external productivity in action starts reducing. Number one. And number two, your inner peace will also go away. So external productivity will give you worldly success, inner peace will give you spiritual success. both will go away. That is what happened to Arjuna. And Krishna tells him, in many places he tells him, Arjuna, by this behavior, you're just getting worked up over nothing. From Krishna's level it's nothing, but from Arjuna's level it's a big problem. He says, by getting worked up like this and not performing your duty, you will neither get any benefits materially nor will you grow spiritually. Nothing is going to happen. So if you want your actions to be very effective, if you want to be more efficient and effective in your actions, then you need to have a calm mind. That is a prerequisite. That's why we say a satvic person, if he enters the arena, it's very difficult to beat him. The competition is always between a rajasic person and a tamasic person. With respect to tamas, rajas will score, will win. But if a satvic person enters, nobody can touch him or her. Because he is way beyond competition, first of all. His success is dependent on the quality of his bhavana and actions. So you should strive to become more and more satvic in your life. So this is a very important dimension, that is distress. Another dimension of aagam is crime. Aagam means a criminal. Now, you may wonder, okay, at least in the previous verse, Tamasic person he called a stenaha, that is understandable. He is a criminal. Why is he calling a rajasic person like this? What is a crime he is? He has only made a mistake. No. According to the yogis, not living up to your potential is a spiritual crime. That's why I covered those dimensions first. Now you will be in a position to understand this. It's very interesting. Swami Ramatirtha, what he says is that when he is talking about the cheer, being cheerful and all that, he says, being morose is a social and spiritual crime, he says. See, just carefully see his words, Being morose is a social and spiritual crime. It's like an infectious disease, he says. It will quickly spread. We had this COVID, pandemic. They were so afraid, Oh, it will spread, it will spread. There are so many things at the emotional level which is a pandemic today. Thing is that nobody is aware of it. Since there is no awareness, one is just blissfully unaware, going on with his or her life. But if you bring in some awareness, you can understand the life with more clarity. Ramatirtha says, whenever you are morose, now that is like an infectious disease. It will spread to others. That's so true, One person who is morose will quickly spread that negative energy to others also. So he says it's a social, moral and spiritual crime. So his advice is, what do you do if you have an infectious disease? You isolate yourself, Similarly, if you are morose, you isolate yourself, he says. Do the sadhana, become cheerful, and then come out, he says. If you literally take those words, I think you will never be able to come out. Every 5 minutes you have to isolate it. So to understand it, in the spirit, So the way he looks at being morose, he says it's a spiritual crime, it's a social crime. Why does he say that? Why does he say it's a spiritual crime? Social crime is explained because it spreads to others, negative energy. It's also a spiritual crime, he says. Why? Because that is preventing you from achieving your true potential, which is infinite. Your potential is infinite. You have infinite potential within you. All that is going waste. You are unable to attain your infinite potential because of these factors. And therefore, he says, it is a crime, a spiritual crime. No doubt it is applicable at the social level also. So when you are tamasic, you are 100% criminal spiritually. When you are rajasic, it's partial, but it's still applicable because you are not at living up to your potential. With respect to tamas, why do we say, why is he using the word like thief and why are we saying criminal and all that? Because you are causing problems to others, to yourself and others. With respect to rajas, your intentions were good, but you still didn't attain your potential. So, morally you may be okay, but spiritually speaking, it is a crime, he says. See, if a person does not have a potential and he does not achieve something that, it's okay. But if a person has the potential and does not achieve it, in a poetic way we say, it's a crime, You could have achieved much more. Why didn't you achieve? With that spirit, he is using the word aagam because he wants the rajas in you to get inspired to move towards sattva. That is the very aim of using the word aagam. When he used the word stenaha, his motive is he wants the tamas in you to wake up, come out of that slumber, literally shaking you up. When he uses the word aagam, he wants to inspire you to move towards sattva. See, there is a tonal difference when it comes to stenaha and aagam. When it comes to santaha, it's a very peaceful word. Sant means it causes so much of peace. That when we come, it will be very interesting. The tone of that itself is different. The flavor, tone, everything is so different. Okay, so you reflect on these points. Very, very important points have been given to you. Work backwards. You take this as a homework for this week. Where all am I stressed? Don't give any reasons. Because of my wife I am stressed, because of my husband I am stressed, because of my children. Leave all that. Where am I stressed? Try to locate, put in that effort. Locate that rajasic approach with respect to give and take there. Even give and take right now you forget. We will come to that anyway. In the next session we will be going to more depth, no? Just try locate that rajasic approach. Understand, because of rajas I am stressed. Do the backward analysis. It will become very easy for you. Because those are the areas where you will have to focus and convert them into sattva. So when we see the satvic attitude, you can easily apply that in all those areas and quickly you will find the stress factor will go away. Okay, so before we do the nididhyasana meditation, I will take up one question. Dear Yogishri, charan sparshan, seek your blessings always. Charan sparsh means falling at the feet, no? Fall at the feet of God. See, this is very important. The feet of the Guru is not to be worshipped. That is symbolic. It means you follow the footsteps of the Guru. Whatever path he has travelled, you follow. But the devotion should be towards God. The highest devotion, I am saying. A Guru comes into your life to get you connected with divinity. To be clear about that. See, when you have the highest respect, regard for the Guru, it is good. But if you cannot replace God with Guru, some people do that. That is not what the Guru is teaching. Today is Kali Yuga, so everybody wants self-glorification. But if you take our yogic masters, they didn't teach that. So Guru shows you the way. That's incidentally I'm just mentioning. So I have a question. Can daily sadhana also be treated as addiction? What I noticed is when due to unavoidable circumstances, if I am not able to do morning sadhana, I start feeling very irritated and restless by evening. As a practice, whenever I miss morning sadhana, I do it before the end of that day. Why I say addiction is because I relate this irritation to withdrawal symptoms. If yes, isn't any addiction bad for us? Kindly guide. It's a good question that he has raised. Earlier also one person had asked this question. Sir, attending the Sunday discourses is so addictive. So then am I not becoming dependent on this for my happiness? The answer is yes. Sadhana is also addictive. Whether it's a Sunday session sadhana or a personal sadhana. But this addiction, we are not using it in the negative sense. See, generally the word addiction is used in a negative sense. When you get addicted to alcohol, when you get addicted to drugs, we use the word addiction for that. That is, you lose your control. And since you lose your control, you are unable to stop the process. That is what we call as a state of addiction in a negative way. But sometimes this word addiction is also used in a positive way, like how you have asked this question, can we call it addiction? Nothing wrong. I say, as long as you understand the meaning of it, there is no issue. It is better to get addicted to the higher wisdom, to your sadhana, rather than other things, no? That's what I told that person who asked, sir, am I getting addicted to Sunday discourse? Isn't that, am I dependent on happiness? Okay, then give a break. What will happen? Are you going to be in a state of happiness? You will become dependent on other things for your happiness. So why do we say that all addictions are negative except addiction to this higher wisdom, addiction to the sadhana? Because the very nature of the sadhana, the very nature of the higher wisdom is to uplift you. So even if you get attached and addicted, it will keep on purifying you and make you ultimately detached from this also and push you to the infinite. Even when you approach your guru, initially that attachment will be there. We are not saying whether that is right or wrong. There is nothing which is morally wrong there, but that will limit limit your powers. That's okay. Sometimes the master may encourage the student to get attached to him. The reason is because that will form a protective layer. It will help the student to come out of all the other attachments. But a true master will do it very carefully, consciously, and ultimately make the student independent and detached. Because the real purpose is not to get attached to the master, it's to get attached to the infinite, it's to get attached to God. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, said Adi Shankara. Worship Govinda. Govinda means the infinite. Worship Govinda. Govinda alone should you worship. So that is the ultimate attachment or ultimate addiction, we can say, addiction to the infinite. So there that becomes positive because you don't lose your control, rather it helps you to bring everything under your control. You become a master of your life. So it all depends on how you use this word addiction. If you're using it negatively, it doesn't fit in here. If you're using it positively, yes, it fits in. The higher wisdom, the sadhana is like honey, and once you start tasting that honey, you will not want to leave that. So if you're not doing sadhana one day and you're feeling restless, I would say the agitations are good because that is helping you to put in that effort, no? It's helping you to get back to sadhana. Anything which helps you to do your sadhana is positive. So it is no, we can't call it agitations in the like other kinds of agitation. It is a kind of a positive unrest which is helping you to get back on track. So a good question which has been asked, you should ensure that you look at everything with clarity. So first choose the positive and get addicted to it, no problem. Even if you get attached to the guru, it is okay. Now don't quote me out of context, okay? Because many times I would say don't be attached to the guru, also be attached to, because that is what is the real truth. But initially these things are bound to happen. But a true guru will take you out of all attachments and get you connected with the infinite, because that is the ultimate aim. There is nothing else which a master is interested in. Everything else is all just a drama, It's an illusion. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithyam. That Brahman alone is the truth. Okay, so now we'll do the Nididhyasana meditation. Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. With every breath, I am becoming more and more relaxed. Feel the divine vibrations. With every breath, I am going deeper and deeper into myself. I am not this body. I am not the pranas. I am not this mind. I am not this intellect. I am that supreme, infinite self. My infinite self is divine. From this moment onwards, I choose to do my sadhana diligently with utmost consistency. I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illuminating. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. Offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Slowly come back, wriggle your fingers, your toes, open and close your palms a few times. Rub your palms together to create a warmth. And cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, your cheeks, forehead, the top of your head, the back of your head, your neck, and slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. So today a lot of depth was added to your understanding. See, the moment we say aagam means impure, you will have a certain amount of understanding. But it is when we use the yogic approach and go deeper and see the various dimensions that the depth is added. It's like a 2D picture and a 3D picture, you know. It is only when the depth is added you can convert it into wisdom. Without the depth, it will only be bookish knowledge, hearsay. So reflect on whatever points which were given to you. See how you can apply them in your life. Do the homeworks which are given every now and then. That will help you to absorb this wisdom better. Okay? So in the coming weeks, we'll go into more depth of this. When I say this, it is not merely the principles externally, but through that we are getting a better understanding of ourselves. That is the key. Okay? So thank you very much. I'll see you in the next session. Hari Om.